Congratulations, you have made it to the final video of the budget setting process. The past 12 videos have been all about setting your budget and learning the basics on all the pieces that affect it. Today's video is about tracking your successes. This is a piece that often gets overlooked because it's deemed not as important as other topics. I'm going to show you why it's important and how you can use the budget setting tool to keep track of them. To receive your own copy of the tool, subscribe to my email list found on my website, millsknowsbills.com. And to make sure you don't miss out on any future videos about practical budget setting tips, information from experts, or other personal finance help, subscribe to my YouTube channel here. New videos will be posted every Tuesday, and trust me, you don't want to miss out. Keeping track of your successes and making strides towards your financial goals is equally as important as keeping track of your debt payments and expediting their payoff. Having a positive or exciting goal to look forward to, besides being debt-free, helps keep you feeling motivated and excited to sit down and go over your budget on a consistent basis. Becoming debt-free can sometimes feel like a goal that's for someone else, but what about a goal that's for you? Like going on your dream vacation or buying a new car. The whole point of this video series is to change your mindset on your finances and reprogram your thoughts around doing a budget. The easiest way to do so is by providing yourself with positive reinforcement every time you sit down and review it. Before I dive deeper and provide you with examples, what's a financial goal that you would really like to meet? Leave your answer in the comment section below. We are back to Tom and Carrie's example, and this is the last time that I'm going to be pulling up this example because it is what we've been using the entire budget setting process. And now remember, this is all about keeping track of your successes and having something to look forward to. So we are going to be focusing on the vacations, retirement desired, and other goals that Tom and Carrie have had set up in their intake sheet and is now also reflected in their budget template tab. Now, we already don't have a monthly amount set aside for their New York vacation, so as you can see, they have about $200 left over in their discretionary income, so I'm going to put $200 right here, and that's going to be the remainder of their discretionary income. In retirement desired, I didn't put in that number as an example for the sheet on that video. And then underneath other goals, I just put extra money toward debt because in last week's video, I showed you how they are taking an additional $150 from their discretionary income and putting it on top of their debt payoff to help expedite it. So moving on, we are going to go over to the Assets and Goals tab all the way on the right. And as you can see, this is where you can track all of those items that we talked about, the vacations, the retirement savings, and then these 5 or 6 slots underneath retirement savings are whatever you put underneath the other goals section on the intake sheet. So if you put a new TV, that'll populate here. If you put a new car, it'll populate there. And the total amount that you want saved will actually show up just underneath. So you can see that with the vacations goal on the top. For the New York trip, I said it was going to cost $2,000 in total. And over here on the right-hand side, you can see that it's going to take 10 months for me to save that $2,000 because I'm setting aside $200 of my discretionary income. If you fill out the rest of the retirement savings and other goals on your intake sheet, the rest of these will populate as well with number of months or years until you reach that certain goal. So the main part that I want to show you here today is every time you sit down and update your budget, I want you to put the current total that you have saved. So if you already have $100, go ahead and put $100 into the current total so you can see how the number of months change until you reach your goal. So 5 months from now, if you have $1,000 saved, update that number and it'll show you that you only have 5 months left until you have enough money to go on your New York trip vacation. Now, there are really 2 main ways that you can set up the assets and goals portion of your tab. First way is if you have a set due date that you need that money by, take that total amount that you need, divided by however many months you have until you need that money by, and that will give you the monthly payment that you need set aside on your budget template tab from your discretionary income. The other way is, okay, I don't necessarily have a due date, but I know I can only spend a certain amount of money each month. You put that certain amount of money, if it's $50, it's $50, if it's $100, it's $100, and you put it on the budget template tab, and then that will indicate how many months or years until you'll have that money saved up. This is a give and take, so if your timeline is too short or too long, you can play with it however you need to, but this is a great way to visualize your goals, give you something to look forward to in terms of seeing that timeline dwindle down as you get closer and closer. And it also helps you prioritize accordingly with what you need sooner rather than later. It helps you visualize everything all in one place. So logistically, how can you do this? I suggest setting up a direct deposit, either directly from your company pay into a specific savings account for that item. And that way each month you meet your minimum goal. Or if you don't want to go through the hassle of setting up a direct deposit, you can set up an automatic transfer within your bank account itself. So you have your checking account, your paycheck goes to your checking account, and on the, 15th of every month, you transfer $50 from your checking account to your savings account for your New York trip. That way, it helps you reach those goals. You don't have to think about saving for it. And it puts you on a consistent timeline, and it helps you build consistency to psychologically become more okay with setting aside money and saving it. 2 key factors that I want to emphasize. Update these numbers on this tab every time you sit down and do your budget. Every time. Even if it only goes up by $5, psychologically, when you see it kind of chip away at your goal, it makes you feel really, really good and proud of yourself. Make sure you are sitting down and setting your budget or maintaining your budget often. I mentioned this in a previous video. I'll mention it again because it is so important. Don't do it once a month. That is too long and too overwhelming of data to sit there and go through all of your bank statements, all of your credit card statements, anything that may pertain to your budget, and it makes it a cumbersome process. Instead, do it every week or every other week. That way, you're not biting off more than you can chew. And that really drives home the second point of do it on a consistent basis. Review your budget often and make sure that everything is on track. Well, that's it. It's that simple to keep track of your financial goals and visibly see your progress. I hope that you enjoyed this video series and that it helped you get a grasp on your finances, even if it's just from a bird's eye view. But don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. I have some exciting content planned and I look forward to sharing it with you all. If you've watched this video and you don't have my free budget setting tool yet, subscribe to my email list found on my website, millsknowsbills.com, to get your very own copy. If you learned something new, please like the video below. And to make sure you don't miss out on any future videos, subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell icon so you're notified every time a new video is posted. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.